Hello guys, it's your boy Mickey Creams and I'm back again with another video. Figma just announced some really awesome and game-changing features during their Config 2023 event which happened in San Francisco. These features are going to be game changers. Trust me, they are going to be game changers, and today we're going to be discussing about these game-changing features. Stick with me, do not skip this video because we are not just going to be doing just that, just discussing these features. We are also going to be talking about how to keep you on track as a UX designer based on these new features. We're going to be talking about how this affects your design process and also what clients and developers are going to be expecting from you now with these new features. So stick with me, and without further ado, let's begin. Let's start with my favorite new feature. Ironically, it's called dev mode. Why I said it's ironic is because I am not a programmer, I'm a designer, but this is definitely my new favorite feature because this new space makes it faster and easier to go from design to development. I feel like every one of us has been in that situation whereby you design something, you hand it off to your developer, and then they build something that, they try their best, but yeah, it's not exactly what you wanted. It's not exactly what you designed, not just what you wanted, but what you designed for the user. Not the same experience, probably, and it doesn't feel the same way. It's probably the same experience, but it doesn't feel the same way. This is going to reduce very drastically that situation. On here, developers can get the info that they need to start coding faster. And the exciting thing about all of this is that it happens in a whole different space. It's not on the design space, it's on the development space. And on that space in Figma, with a switch being clicked, the screen can change from normal design mode to dev mode, and then nothing is being tampered with. Your design is not being tampered with, and designers can see even as little as padding on the border radius and everything that they need. Even codes, they can copy codes from there. This is going to make life so much easier for not just the developer but also for the designer, because now whatever you design, Figma gives the developer the codes, the code suggestions to use. So yeah, it's going to make that whole process of, oh, I cannot design this, I cannot design it exactly like that because the code does not exist. It's going to reduce that drastically. Now the code exists. They are developers. You hear from us. The code exists now in Figma. So another thing that I'm excited about this dev mode is that you can now bring your workflow into Figma. You can integrate Figma with Jira, and you can bring your workflow, you can integrate your issues, your Jira issues in Figma to different tasks in Figma. So it makes life easier as well. And also there's a Figma VS Code extension now, and developers don't have to even leave VS Code. They can be on VS Code and they see everything that they need to see on Figma. It just makes life easier for them. They see the codes on Figma, and then they can just, I feel like they can just copy and paste it in VS Code. I feel like that's how it works. So yeah, that's a really awesome feature, and yeah, it's my favorite because handing off has always been it's always a hassle, and not just handing off, the result of handing off. You're done designing, but your design isn't as crisp as you designed it when it's developed, and you just have to live with it because the developer says the code does not exist. Now they're developers. The code does exist. And yeah, I've dropped a link to the playground. That's the dev mode playground. It's in the community, and you can just make a copy and then play with it. Now on the playground, you can check how this dev mode works, how it works. You can play around with it, and you can do things on there and just see how it works for yourself. It's still in beta mode, but it's really impressive. So go into the description, look for the dev mode playground, and then click on it, make a copy, and then play around with the dev mode and see what it feels like for yourself before you start using it. Another feature that was announced during the Config 2023 event is auto layout. No, not just auto layout, but auto layout with wrapping, minimum and maximum width and height. Those of you who are used to using software like Webflow, WordPress, or who have any coding background, will really appreciate this, and you should be used to doing this already. Wrapping text or just wrapping things in general and having minimum and maximum width and height for elements. It makes life easy, especially when you're developing or designing a responsive application or website. So I'm also going to be dropping the link in the description. It's on there in the description. You can check out the playground for the auto layout, the new type of auto layout system. Check it out, play around with it, see what you can do with it, and then practice makes perfect, guys. So do that as soon as possible. And the next feature we're going to be talking about is, in my opinion, and I believe everybody will agree with me, the best and most important feature that was announced. We've talked about my personal favorite. Now we're talking about the best and most important one, called variables. Variables is a game changer. Those of us who have experience using ProtoPie and Flutterflow are going to find this a little bit familiar. First of all, variables can be used to create design things like light mode and dark mode. We've always been asking for that in Figma, and now it's possible. You can have things like light mode and dark mode, and you can switch very easily. You can also have mobile and desktop mode, and with variables in Figma, all of these are now possible. There's also going to be a link to the playground in the description. You can check it out. And another thing is, who is tired? All of us, I'm sure we are all tired of having to do prototypes with so many bunch of screens and then so many wires. It looks like Vecna. If you watch Stranger Things, it's almost like you're playing around with Vecna. All these tubes and all these lines connecting this screen to another screen. If you want to do a simple connection from product screen to cart screen, you have to link too many other screens in between there that probably wasn't even necessary for the showcase, but now you have to do it because you want to showcase, because you need a prototype. All of that is going to stop, and it's going to be drastically reduced, and even very drastically reduced with variables. Check it out. It's so amazing. You can also switch from English to German to whatever language you want to switch to so easily. It makes prototyping easy, makes things easy. Check it out. Go to the description, click on the playground, the variables playground, and play around with it. This is a very important feature. Clients aren't going to be needing all those many screens anymore. Your product manager is not going to be needing all those many screens with all those wires anymore. It's just going to be about 4 screens replacing what used to be 20, 40 screens. It's going to be probably 4, 5 screens now, and life is going to be so easy. Learn this as fast as possible, because this is definitely, it's not the future, it's the now. It's definitely the now. Check it out and start learning it now. Right about now. Do not waste any time. Go and check it out now. The next feature we're going to be talking about is a small but mighty, very mighty feature that many of us have been asking for, even I personally have. Now, before we head into this, before we talk about these features, stick around to the end of this video. It's so important you stick around, because the last feature we're going to be talking about is the most exciting thing that was announced during the Config 2023 event. So stick around so you can hear about it. We've talked about my personal favorite feature, dev mode. We've talked about the most important and the best feature, which is variables. Next, we're going to be talking about the most exciting feature that was announced on that day. So stick around to the end of this video to hear what it is. But let's go back to talk about these small but mighty features that have been added to Figma. Number one is pre-use and preview fonts. Many people have asked for this. I have personally sent a tweet to Figma requesting for this feature. I've been surprised why this feature has not been available for the longest time. Adobe had this feature for how long? For the longest period of time that I've known, that I've been using Adobe products for. But Figma just hadn't caught on till now. Thank God they finally caught on. Pre-use and preview fonts is here, guys. So now on the Figma font picker, you can just be scrolling on the fonts and you can see previews of what the fonts looks like. I'm sure many of us have asked for that, so this is really exciting. And another thing that's exciting is truncation, text truncation. And this is something else that I feel like many people did not ask for this enough. I personally have always wanted it, but maybe many people haven't noticed the use, because there are ways you can design even without it. There are ways you can design it, and it's not so difficult. But with this feature being added, this text truncation being added, it makes life very, very easy for everyone. So these are the small but mighty features that I wanted us to discuss before we head on to the last and most exciting feature that was announced during the Config 2023 event. Let's get into it. The most exciting feature that was announced during the Config 2023 event is an AI-powered design tool called Diagram. Maybe some of you have not heard about it. To be honest, it's my first time hearing about them. But yeah, apparently they've been on Figma's radar for a long time. They've been watching them for a long time. And guess what, guys? Figma has finally purchased and acquired Diagram. Diagram are powerful AI-powered tools, and they've got a bunch of them. They've got a Magician, they've got Genius, they've got an Automator, they've got uiux, and maybe there'll be more coming up soon, but this is what they have right now, and it's already awesome. Head on to diagram.com, check out Diagram's amazing AI-powered tools, start practicing, start using them already, start getting acquainted with some of these tools. As everybody knows, AI is definitely here to stay. Before we thought, okay, maybe AI will come and then die out, but no, AI is here to stay, and AI is definitely taking your jobs, guys. It's not going to take your jobs. Just keep learning these AI tools, learn how to use them. AI does not use itself. Human beings have to be the ones to use AI in order for AI to function. Don't be scared of them. I remember when ChatGPT first came out, it was a little bit worrisome, but then, I mean, there's nothing there to worry about once you learn how to use ChatGPT and integrate it with your design process. And so is Diagram going to be, and every other AI tool. Do not be scared. Just learn how to integrate these tools into your everyday design process, and it just makes your life easier as a designer. I mean, who doesn't want their lives to be easier, right? Head on to the diagram.com website right now. Start using these AI tools today. Don't wait till tomorrow. Start using them today and start practicing with them, because who knows, by next year Figma would probably announce, a full integration and, a full launch of Diagram into Figma. And this brings us to the end of today's video. If you've watched the video up until this point, do not forget to hit the subscribe button. Really important to support the channel, and also like this video to help with the algorithm. And if you have anything to say, please go to the comment section and say it. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say, or if you have any other video requests. I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you.